Hello everyone, Mr. Daniel here for another Craft Time with Virginia Repertory Theater. As always, I'm excited to be making craft with you today, and with this video and with all of the videos, I highly encourage you to watch all the way through to the end, get a good sense of the craft we're making, then you can go back and rewatch the video. That way you can fast forward, stop, pause, rewind, and do whatever you need to do to make a craft that you are happy with. Alright, it is my favorite time of year. It's winter, it's getting cold, the leaves are falling off the trees, and that is what has inspired the craft for today. Now this is a bit more difficult craft for some of our younger kiddos, so you might need some help from an older sibling or parent, but if you are up for this kind of more difficult craft, it's a really fun one and it has a lot of different uses. Aside from just decoration, you could always use it as a jewelry holder or something along those lines. But here we have our cardboard winter tree. So we can see the branches, but all the leaves have fallen off, and I've even decorated a bit, and I'm going to show you some other decorating techniques later as well. But these are really fun, and I'm really excited to make this with you today. So let's start by gathering our materials. We are going to need some cardboard. I just have some pizza box, as well as a pencil and some scissors. That's really all you need, as well as anything else that you want to decorate with. To decorate today, I've got myself some string, a bit of masking tape, I've got some pipe cleaners, as well as a bunch of different beads that I'm going to be using. So we'll just set those to the side for now while we get started on the main part of our tree. So what you're going to do to start is you're just going to draw out a rough tree shape on one of your cardboard pieces. Now you can make yours kind of flowy and organic, or have really round edges, kind of like a circle, or you can go for something a little more linear, a little more straight lined, so you have some sharper angles, so it's a little bit easier to draw. Whatever you decide to do is honestly great. I mean, there's no real wrong way to do this. So once you have that all drawn out on your cardboard, what you're going to do is you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut that out so that you end up with two tree shapes. Now before you do all of your cutting, I'm going to recommend that you only have one part of your tree that has any sort of branches coming out of the top. We want to leave one that has some space in between. And the reason we're going to do that is because as soon as you have these cut out, we're then going to cut out a little rectangle from our cardboard trees. So for the one that does not have a branch from the top, cut out a little bit of the top, just like this. For the other one, we're going to be cutting up from the bottom. So just cut yourself another little rectangle, like that. And once you have those cut out, so you have this on the bottom, this on top, you'll be able to just slip those two pieces together. If you'll notice, mine doesn't quite line up. That's okay. That just means I need to make one of these rectangles a little bit longer. So you might have to play with this for a bit to figure out what the best height is going to be to get your two slots to slide in together so that your tree rests like that. So now it stays standing all on its own. It looks pretty cool, and you can kind of change how open and closed it is to work for if you want it to be maybe a little more decorative, maybe having it a little more open like that. If you want it really functional, if you want to hang some things on it, keep it really kind of perpendicular. That means that the bottom is going like this in a bit of a plus shape. Once you have that all built up, you can just set that to the side because we're going to work on any sort of decoration we want to do. So what I want to do is I want to create kind of what I'm imagining like string lights around this tree, which is very similar to what I have here. So when I was growing up, my mom, my family would always decorate our Christmas tree with a set of string lights that were all a bunch of different colors. and the actual string part of the string lights were green. So I got some green string to make these lights. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a nice long piece of string, and I'm just going to cut that there. And with this long piece of string, I'm going to create kind of those same string lights. What I'm going to do though first is I'm going to take my masking tape, and this just makes things a little bit easier. I'm going to take just a little piece. I'm going to wrap it around one end and just kind of roll that and pinch it down. Because what I'm then going to do is I'm going to take one of my beads, I'm going to use the masking tape side to slide that string through. It just makes it a little bit easier. Sometimes string can kind of fall apart when you're sticking it through small holes, so I'm just doing that to make sure it stays together. And then I'm just going to tie this around my bead. And I'm going to then take my next bead, and I'm going to put that on, and I'm going to pull it down, and I'm going to space it out however far apart I want them. Then I'm going to wrap that around my finger, and then I like to use this masking tape also to help me get that tied off, and then just make another little knot around it like that. And you're just going to keep doing this over and over for as long as you want until you can end up with some string that looks like this and has a bunch of different beads on it, especially because I have the clear ones. They tend to glitter just a little bit. There's not a lot of glitter in them, but it catches the light in a really nice way. So then I can wrap this however I want around my tree to make it look really festive and fun. I'm going to do a bit of a back and forth as opposed to all the way around, just because I don't really need the back to be decorated. Just keep looping that all the way around. Just like that. So that everything is really well decorated. And I've got a bunch of these little string lights on my tree. Now, because I'm taking more of a Christmassy approach for this tree, I'm also going to make some ornaments for this. So I'm going to be using my pipe cleaners as well as the beads. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my pipe cleaners, and I'm just going to cut about an inch piece, an inch and a half. I'm going to grab myself another bead. I'm going to stick one end through, and I'm just going to wrap that around so that the bead stays in place and isn't going to fall off. And then I'm going to make a little bend, just a little tiny one at the top of the other end of my pipe cleaner, which gives me a little bit of a hook. That way I can just hang these little ornaments all over my little tree. Alright, now we have it all decorated and our craft is all done. This is a super fun craft and I definitely enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy it as well. As always, stay safe and stay tuned.